Everybody, welcome to the latest episode of the SCU Show, episode number 20. We've come a long way since 2017, missing a whole bunch of shows, not being much over the last 2 years. We've now run 20 consecutive weeks outside, 20 of the last 21, I'll say. But I'm your host, SCU. I want to thank you all for listening, whether listening on the Anchor podcast, or you're watching on YouTube, or you're watching a bit on Twitter, or Facebook, or Instagram. I appreciate your you're a cool part. You're watching. So anyway. All right, let's get started here. We got to talk about it. The New England Patriots. Everybody's freaking about the Patriots. Everybody's freaking about the Patriots. Oh, the dynasty is over after they lost to the Titans. Oh no, it's over. What are we gonna do now? First of all, let's start with this. The Patriots were never getting to the Super Bowl regardless. And you think that they were going to go to Kansas City and win a game? There's absolutely no way. The Chiefs have already beat the Patriots in Foxborough this year. So there was that. That just shows you right there that the Patriots were not going to Kansas City in the postseason. With the healthy Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and a good running game, Damon Williams, they were not going to win with that offense. They're not going to Kansas City and winning a playoff game. I'll tell you that right now. That wasn't going to happen. That was just absolutely not going to happen. Mahomes was going to outdo Brady no matter what, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Now, the Patriots, obviously, their defense is supposed to be one of the best ever, and we'll get to that right now. Actually, we'll get to that right now. Patriots defense, it was supposed to be the best in league history. It was the best in league history most of the season, despite what the offense was doing. The Patriots defense was supposed to be the best in the league all season long in NFL history. And then they couldn't stop Derrick Henry in the wild card round. He got every touch on the game-winning drive. He got every touch, literally every touch. I'm not even kidding. If you saw the stat line, he got every touch on that drive. Every pass was thrown to him. Obviously, the carries were run by him. He took the ball every single play on that game-winning drive for the Tennessee Titans, and the Patriots defense just couldn't stop him. So that's why they lost that game. It had nothing to do with the dynasty being over, by the way. Let's get to that now. The dynasty is over. Oh no! What is Brady gonna do now? What the Patriots gonna do? Bill Belichick's gonna go elsewhere. Enough? That's crazy talk. Absolute crazy talk. The Patriots dynasty is not going anywhere. First of all, Brady is probably going to resign. He already said he's not going to retire, so we already knew that. He wanted to play until he's 45. He's only 42 right now. He'll be 43 in August. He's going to resign in New England. He's going to play till he's 45 in New England. Bob Kraft's not letting him go. Bob Kraft loves Brady. They're like brothers from other mothers. They go to Thanksgiving dinner at each other's houses. They go on vacation together. They enjoy his kids and Brady knows Kraft's grandkids and all this other stuff. And you think that Brady's going to go to Indy or Miami or the Chargers, all dysfunctional franchises that had really mediocre seasons this year? That's not happening. He's staying in New England. I'm here to tell you that. That's absolutely happening. He's going to resign until he's 45. He's going to retire a New England Patriot. That's going to happen. And I'll say the same with Belichick. My grandma used to tell me that she would die working. Unfortunately, she had to retire in about 2016, so unfortunately didn't die working. But I'm glad she's still with me today. Bill Belichick, on the other hand, he is going to die as the Patriots head coach. I mean, there's no real ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's not going back to Cleveland. He's not going back to New York where he won a Super Bowl. He's staying in New England. Why would you leave if you took the team to 9 Super Bowls, won 6 of them? There's no reason to leave. There would be no reason for him to go anywhere. And if I'm Josh McDaniels, that's another thing. Josh McDaniels is up for a head coaching job. The Cleveland Browns is the only opening right now, and if I'm Josh McDaniels, there's no way in hell I'm going to Cleveland. Going to Cleveland and going from Brady to Baker is like going from a Mustang to a Honda Civic. That's a joke me and a former friend of mine used to make all the time about Honda Civics. But why would you do that? Why would you go from Brady to Baker Mayfield? When we've seen Josh McDaniels knows what kind of head coach he is. Not a very good one. Remember when he was head coach of the Denver Broncos? They had started 5-0. They had Kyle Warner as quarterback. They started 5-0. They had just beat New England on a game-winning field goal. They finished 8-8, missed playoffs. So we know what kind of coach Josh McDaniels is. So why would he go ahead and try again? Don't do it, McDaniels. Come back to New England. The Patriots will draft some receivers and O-linemen to protect Brady. Give him more time. He'll again draft the receivers, make it work. Get back to the Super Bowl. Outdo Mahomes next year. Outdo Lamar Jackson next year, and get to your 4th Super Bowl in 5 years. So that's that. That's the way I see it. All right, let's switch gears now to another playoff game that I want to talk about, because we talked about Patriots Titans, and obviously the Texans overcame a 16-0 deficit to beat the Bills. That's great, fine and dandy. But third year in a row, the Saints are blaming somebody for their last second playoff loss. 2017, 2018, whatever it was, Minneapolis Miracle. Stephon Diggs, the guy couldn't tackle him, so he just ducked. He ducked like this instead of tackling him. Last year, the no call, which cost him the game, even though Breeze threw a pick in overtime, and that's why the Rams went out to kick field goal, win the game, go to the Super Bowl. And then this year, oh no, where's the pass interference call? Kyle Rudolph, oh my goodness, what the heck, man? This is why we lost to the Vikings in the wild card round. Now, that's not why the Saints lost to the Vikings in the wild card round. The Saints lost to the Vikings in the wild card round because of the way their team played a whole game. Drew Brees was under 50% completion percentage at halftime. They came into the third quarter. Remember, they were talking about Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, and they showed the stat line. He was under 50% completion rating for the first half. And then you had at the end of the half, Will Lutz missed a field goal. That field goal would have won you the game with 2 seconds left in regulation. It gave the defense. Defense gave up 242 yards to Dalvin Cook. No, discrediting Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook's running back. But if your defense wins championships, that is a proven thing at this point. Proven thing that defense wins championships. And if your defense gives up 242 yards to a running back, you deserve to lose the game. Forget the no call. Don't give up 242 yards rushing. Kick your field goals. Complete your passes. Play better. Don't make mistakes. And maybe then, New Orleans, you'll win a playoff game someday. But until then, stop blaming everybody else. It's on you and nobody else. Simple as that. All right, now let's get to the head coaching stuff. By the way, the Seahawks beat the Eagles 17-9. It's just like they did in November, but this time DK Metcalf didn't drop a touchdown. Credit to him. That's how the Seahawks won the game. He didn't drop a touchdown. Should have dropped more, a few weeks ago, but another story for another time. Whatever you want to call it. Let's get to some head coaching stuff now. Very interesting. New head coaches in the NFL. There are a couple of them. I'm going over the 3 right now in the NFC East. We'll start with the Giants. The Giants continue to show what a dumpster fire they are, especially under GM Dave Gettleman. What a mess the Giants are. Oh my good God. They hired a guy named Joe Judge. Who? Who was this guy again? He was a wide receivers coach for the Patriots. Oh, he coached under Belichick, coached under Nick Saban. He was working with the special teams, and the Giants hired him as head coach instead of going after Jason Garrett, who won division titles with the Cowboys in his decade tenure with Dallas under Jerry Jones. Now, he's going to be under a second-year quarterback after going from Tom Brady, and he's going to Daniel Jones, who's obviously still not ready to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. The only reason that the Giants threw him in there is because Eli Manning was still bad. And they realized that Eli Manning's time in New York was done, so they had decided, let's go with this guy instead. So that's what they did. It's not going to work out. The Giants, I think, will give him 2 years. They gave him a 5-year deal, just reported this morning. They gave him a 5-year deal. It's going to be 2 years. He's going to be out the door, and the Giants will continue to be a dumpster fire. That's what's going to happen at the end of the day. But and staying in the NFC though, NFC East, Ron Rivera, that's a great hire by the Redskins. Great hire by the Redskins. They also got Jack Del Rio as a defensive coordinator. That's another great hire by them. So now they're going to have a quarterback issue next year because you don't know who's going to start. Is Case Keenum going to still be there, or is Dwayne Haskins going to start the whole year? What's going to happen? Nobody knows. But it's going to be a quarterback issue next year. By next year, 2021 season, forget it. They're going to find a quarterback. Either that, they're going to have to ask Dwayne Haskins ready. And they could be a playoff team by January 2022. That's a great hire by the Redskins. I really like it. Ron Rivera. Wish him the best, and I can't wait to see him. And then my former team, as I said, I've renounced my fandom, the Dallas Cowboys. Great hire, Mike McCarthy. What a great hire by them. He worked with Brett Favre, worked with Aaron Rodgers, 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks, won Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers, then won a Super Bowl with Favre. A little too late in Favre's career to win a Super Bowl with him. Now he has Dak Prescott, who is absolutely growing as a quarterback. And nobody can tell me otherwise. I'm not showing bias. He's absolutely growing as a quarterback. This year, he was just under 5,000 yards, 30 touchdown passes. Really had the Cowboys in that position to win the NFC East, but of course they blew it. Everybody knows they blew it. And then they have the best run game, Zeke Elliott, and a very good defense led by Byron Jones. You have Declan Dutch will be back next year. Sean Lee might be back next year. Jalen Smith will be back next year. A great offensive line. So that is the whole package deal for Dallas now. There's no excuses anymore for Dallas. They have a great coach. Like I say Jason Garrett isn't the best coach, but he's doing some division titles, but he's not getting your team to the Super Bowl. You know, obviously that wasn't going to happen for him. He wasn't getting Dallas to the Super Bowl. So anyway, and then you also have, like I said, the Giants have the second-year quarterback, Daniel Jones, not ready yet. And then you have Dwayne Haskins, who's also not ready yet completely. And the Eagles have an injured-prone quarterback. Carson Wentz went out in that playoff game, his first playoff game, his 4-year NFL career. He gets hurt first quarter. Go figure. So really, Mike McCarthy going to Dallas is going to lead to something very special for the Cowboys in the next year or two. I'm not saying they'll get to the Super Bowl, but they're going to do something really special in the next year or two. All right, let's switch over to the NBA now. I have a little NBA thing going on here. Anthony Davis has declined a max deal from the Lakers and will test the free agency market come July 1st. Oh, man, that got me thinking. And I saw this, somebody posted this on Twitter. I don't remember who it was. I would give them credit for it. But think about this. And for those that watch me right now, watching this segment, and the guys on my Twitter who know me from 2015 when I covered Miami sports, imagine this. Look at what the Heat are doing right now. Jimmy Butler's doing incredible things in Miami with a bunch of B team guys. Justice Winslow's doing all pretty good. You got rid of Hassan Whiteside. Maybe something bad. No, the Heat are second in the East, 4.5 games behind Milwaukee. Now imagine this, Heat fans. Imagine the Heat decide to try all these B guys away. They say, okay, we're done with you guys. Thank you for this season. They get a second round exit, third or maybe semifinal exit, whatever. And they decide, all right, now it's the time to up the ante 100%. Jimmy Butler, Anthony Davis, Chris Paul, and can you just imagine putting Giannis, because Giannis said he also wants to be out of Milwaukee. Imagine the big four in Miami. Big four. Giannis, Anthony Davis, Chris Paul, and Jimmy Butler. Can you imagine those four on the same team? What kind of magic that would be a new dynasty. That'd be a new dynasty. Having those four on the floor every, about what? They play an 82-game season, so about 70 games out of the 82, you have all four on the floor at the same time. Could you imagine that as a fan of the Miami Heat? Now, I say a new dynasty, or at least, no doubt, the best team in the Eastern Conference, because you have Milwaukee going down without Giannis. Giannis would be in Miami. Toronto isn't the same without Kawhi Leonard. I do like what Toronto's doing, but they're just not the same without Kawhi. Let's face it, Boston, they wouldn't get past this Miami team. Plus, look at what Boston's doing now. They're struggling so bad right now. I mean, could you see them really beating out the Heat if they had those four guys? I know I couldn't. I could not see that happening. So just think about it. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but just think about it. Anthony Davis has declined his deal with the Lakers. He's going to test the free agency market. Just imagine Miami gets rid of all their B team guys and sign Davis. They have Jimmy Butler. They signed Chris Paul, who they originally wanted in the first place, but then they were like, yeah, okay, Thunder, you keep him. And then you sign Giannis, who wants out of Milwaukee. Just imagine what greatness would come back to South Beach in the NBA if those four signed this summer. Just would be amazing. Absolutely amazing. All right. So last week we did our rankings, 12 teams and a wild card and everything. This week we're ranking, and I'm calling this the SCU Elite 8. No trademark or anything like that, just creative name. So we're going to rank all 8 playoff teams still remaining, and here we go. Number 8 is Houston. Yeah, Houston, they blew us. They almost lost. They were down 16-0 to Josh Allen. Josh Allen's a great talent. He's going to take the dip next year. He's not going to be as good as a quarterback next year. This week they go to Kansas City. They have a really bad secondary, terrible secondary, and you have to get to go against Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. So that's going to be a real kind of a mess. On defense for Houston, I'm picking number 8. Number 7 is Green Bay. I do not like the Packers this week. Really, it's what I saw week 17 against Detroit. It's really what I saw then. I mean, they really struggled. Aaron Rodgers, half of his passes were overthrown to different receivers. They barely beat the Lions again, which they did almost barely beat them the first time at Monday Night Football back in week 6. I don't like it. Packers number 7. Number 6. Here's again. We're doing this again. It's San Francisco. They barely winning games. They're barely losing games. They beat New Orleans at the buzzer. They lost to Atlanta at the buzzer. Lost to Baltimore at the buzzer. And now they have to face against Minnesota, who is really talented. They have a better run game. I would definitely. You got to pick Galvin Cook over Matt Breida. Am I right? Come on. Kyle Rudolph. He's not. He's not no George Kittle, but he can definitely be up there if he needs to be, especially on this type of stage for Minnesota. I don't know. I really don't really trust Jimmy Garoppolo as much as that most people do. He's not. He's better than Kirk Cousins. But it's very slight margin better than Kirk Cousins type of deal. So I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota pulls off the upset this week at all. And I want to talk about Minnesota in a moment after this Eli stuff. So Niners number 6. Number 5 is Tennessee. Great run game. Tyron Tannehill's got them on fire right now. I don't know what he's doing, but he's on fire. And the Titans, obviously, they pulled off the upset of the Patriots. Now they go against Lamar Jackson. And really, it's Lamar Jackson's going to do his thing. He's going to throw 4 touchdowns again this weekend. It'll be up to the Ravens defense to stop Tennessee, to stop Derrick Henry. I think the Ravens do win the game, obviously, of course, against the AFC Championship game against Kansas City. Titans at number 5. Number 4 is Minnesota. Minnesota, again, I just said. Matt Breida. Dalvin Cook's better than Matt Breida. Jimmy Garoppolo is better than Kirk Cousins, but it's by the slightest of margins. And, yeah, both defenses are very good, but I wouldn't be surprised if Minnesota pulls off this upset. And if Green Bay does beat Seattle this week, they would host the Vikings. If the Vikings do beat the Niners, Packers-Vikings NFC Championship game, no doubt about it. I'm taking Minnesota to get to the Super Bowl. Absolutely no doubt. And that would be a very interesting story for the NFL if Minnesota Vikings at a 6 seed get to the Super Bowl. But Vikings at number 4. Number 3 is Seattle. Yeah, Seattle struggled against Philadelphia. What a surprise. They did the same thing back in November. They struggled against Philadelphia. But I still think they're the best team in the NFC right now. It's gonna be them and the. I would like to see Seahawks Vikings Super Bowl NFC Championship game. I would buy a flat screen, a reclining chair, a bag of popcorn, big large Pepsi because I don't like Coke. As people that know me know, I'm a Pepsi guy over a Coke guy. I would have a big Pepsi next to me with a bag of popcorn, reclining chair, 60-inch plasma TV to watch Seahawks Vikings in the NFC Championship game. Seattle number 3. Number 2, Baltimore. Ooh yeah. They're going to have a tough time. I think the defense will have a tough time stopping Derrick Henry this week against Tennessee. Lamar Jackson's doing his thing. He's the greatest quarterback in the league right now. I don't think anybody can question that. He's doing the same stuff he did at Louisville. And he's just dominating the league. So, but Baltimore number 2 because number 1 is Kansas City. I think Kansas City is getting to the Super Bowl. I think Kansas City would go into Baltimore and pull off the upset, which would technically be an upset by the lines and the seeding and everything. But other than that, that would be an upset. The Chiefs are number 1 in this week's rankings, playoff rankings. The SCU Light 8. Next week we'll have the SCU Final 4 because we got the NFC and AFC Championship games. But I am picking the Chiefs, the Ravens, the Seahawks, and I'll go Minnesota just because I really want to see them in the NFC Championship game because I think they would be a definite scare for either Green Bay or Seattle in the championship game. Doesn't matter who they would play. And I forgot to write this down, but I do know we have to talk about college football playoff championship game. The championship game is on Monday. LSU and Clemson. This is going to be such a barn burner. It's such a barn burner. As a matter of fact, I can't pick who I want to win this game. It's so difficult. I can't pick, who do I want to win? Ed Orgeron. I've loved Ed Orgeron since his days at USC. I was surprised they didn't hire him as a head coach after his interim tenure has ended in 2013. They didn't hire him back. I was surprised by that. I was like, what are you doing? If you're LSU, you're USC, what are you doing? Why did you hire him back? And obviously, Dabo Swinney, Trevor Lawrence hasn't lost in over 2 years. He'll win his 3rd championship if he does win on Monday. And Dabo Swinney wins his 3rd championship in 4 seasons. Clemson would be the first team since 94-95 to win 2 consecutive seasons with an undefeated record. So it's like a lot on the line here for the Tigers. But LSU has Joe Burrow. They have the defense, the best defense in the college football, whatever. You have Joe Burrow. You have Ed Orgeron. You have the coach. You have everything. Well, who do you go with? Good Lord, I can't pick a team. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go with the Tigers. That's all I can do. I cannot pick a team to win this game. I don't know who's going to win. I don't know who the better team is. That's it. I'm going with the Tigers to win the national championship. That's it. That's all I can say. All I can say is that I'm picking the Tigers to win the national championship. Both good luck to both teams. Whoever wins, kudos to them. And that's it. Thanks for listening, everybody. This has been episode 20 of the SCU Show.